The truth is, most of us don't actually know who we are. We are in an identity crisis and are disconnected from our authentic selves. We know who we were told to be, who we had to become to survive. And authentic reveal is the idea that you don't have to become someone else to live free. You just have to recover who you already are. Hello, friends, and welcome back to The Free Advantage, brought to you by The Risky Path. I'm Heather Davis, and I want to invite you to join me each week as we explore self-discovery, authenticity, and the journey to recovering a life of freedom. This podcast is all about sharing and exploring impactful experiences that we all share in a relatable and digestible way. And with so much information out there, it can be overwhelming to take it all in. And here, I want to give you small bites that you can take back into your week and integrate into your daily life. Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be back with you this week, diving deeper into our Holy Living, a Journey to Your Authentic Reveal series. Last week, we talked about what the authentic reveal actually is. The idea that you don't have to become someone else to live free. You just have to recover who you already are. But how do we actually do that? If we're going to reveal who we truly are, we first have to recognize what does and does not align. The truth is, most of us don't actually know who we are. We are in an identity crisis and are disconnected from our authentic selves. We know who we were told to be, who we had to become to survive, and who we perform as in our jobs, our families, and even in our social media profiles. We slide into the roles of our lives seamlessly and fall into order. But the real you, the one God created, the one formed in love and on purpose, that version of you may have been buried under layers of survival, shame, traumas, expectation, and culture. You may feel stuck because you've been trying to survive while living as someone else's version of you. And that creates disconnect, and it is honestly so exhausting. But the authentic reveal is about removing what isn't you to reveal what is. And like we talked about last week, the truth is that so many of us are walking around already believing that we're someone we're not. We believe that we're not enough. We believe that we're the version of ourselves that the world has created, conditioned, and trained. And we have believed that we're too broken, too behind, and too stuck to ever become the person we were meant to be. We've just been taught to see ourselves through a filter that is and never was us. Filters of fear, shame, scarcity, performance, and sometimes you just need someone to come alongside you and help you remove those filters. These filters shape how we present ourselves to the world, and while some may have been necessary for survival, they are often misaligned with who we actually are. The filtered you is the overachiever who fears being seen as lazy or useless, and we search for our accomplishments to prove worthiness or that we are deserving. The people pleaser who cannot say no for fear of upsetting others and rocking the boat. Or the self-saboteur who doesn't trust success for fear of losing something that they hold dear. Or the perfectionist who works tirelessly and obsessively for fear of being found out. These aren't our true identities. They're filters. They're masks, and they show up in the roles that we play in life. And filtered living can look a lot like feeling disconnected or disoriented, like you're observing your life more than being an active participant. Or maybe you can feel like this life isn't actually real. You may find yourself saying, "I don't even know who I am anymore." And you may not recognize yourself in the mirror, or you might avoid mirrors altogether. Your inner voice is mostly critical, anxious, and judgmental of yourself and others. You often feel drained, and this can be after a day with others, and even if they're people you love, or maybe just the thought of getting up and living every day feels draining. Anger and resentment often creep up after having to always regulate others or after having to help other people. When we're living through filters, we start operating on autopilot. We perform, protect, and please without even realizing it. These ways of navigating life around us become so normal that we don't even question them. But beneath it all, you can't return to yourself if you don't first realize that we've wandered. The truth is that no matter how you feel about it, no matter the exhaustion, the disconnection, and the masks, you're still there, lying in wait. This is why awareness is the first step of your reveal. It is the beginning. It's the moment that you stop and say, wait, this isn't who I really am. I am more than this. It's the crack in the illusion, the shift in your atmosphere, and the first inhale of truth after holding your breath for years. It's what turns filtered living into holy living. Once you become aware, you can't unsee it. And while that can sometimes feel very overwhelming at first, it's actually one of the most powerful places to begin. And I want to talk about how we move from awareness into alignment. Because now that you see it, now that you're aware that this is how you're living, that these are the filters that exist, it's time for us to start asking the deeper questions. Who am I? Not the you that's been shaped by pressure or pain, not the you that's performing to be loved or accepted, but the true, authentic you. Last week, we talked about the definition of authentic, and it means of undisputed origin, genuine, true to the original. Your true, authentic self is of undisputed origin. It is genuine, and it is true to how you were originally made, the original God-made, not filtered, not conditioned, not reactive, and not fearful version. It is a grounded, worthy, true, present, aware, joyful, intuitive, loved, and loving being. God's original design in you has not been erased. It's been covered. And no matter how many years of conditioning, that image still remains. You were made in love, for love, and with love. And that love is what fuels your recovery and your authentic reveal. If you have been listening throughout this Holy Living series, you know each episode ends with a reflection and reveal challenge. This is a moment for us to slow down, dig deeper, and come back to ourselves. And now that we're entering the second part of the series, the Authentic Reveal, these practices are going to ask just a little more of you. Because transformation begins with truth. And we can't find the truth until we dig. This week, I want to invite you to let go. Let go of the filters. Let go of the roles. Let go of the masks and personas that you feel have kept you safe, but no longer serve you. You are not who the world told you to be. You are who you were created to be. So let's start peeling back the layers with our kindness and truth. Before we start with the reflection process, I want you to just take a moment and sit still with yourself. I want you to breathe in and out. Again, in and out. Now I want you to take a moment to reflect on the things that we've talked about, and then answer the following questions. Who told me who I had to be in order to be loved, accepted, or successful? What parts of me have I hidden or silenced to fit in or keep the peace? Where in my life am I pretending or performing out of habit, not alignment? And in what moments or spaces do I feel most like myself, free, safe, and unfiltered? Now I want you to go into the reveal. This is a practice that I want you to sit down and do this week. And I want you to name all the roles. Write down all the roles that you have taken on, by choice or by expectation. Think about, who are you to everyone else? In your family, work, life and community, in every aspect of your life. Your family roles could look like being a parent, a sibling, a caretaker, a peacekeeper, a rebel. Or socially, you could be a friend, an advisor, a comic relief, a fixer, or a listener. And at work, it could look like a leader, an overachiever, team player, just a coworker, or an imposter. And don't forget about who you are internally. The strong one, the quiet one, the responsible one. Once you have made your list, I want you to write down and list your responsibilities in each of these roles. All of the things that you do, what that looks like to be those different roles for you. And when you are finished, I want you to take a hard look at who you are every day and ask, which of these roles are rooted in truth and which are rooted in fear? Which ones feel heavy, performative, and that no longer align? And what would it look like to loosen your grip on just one of them this week? Now, last, I want you to look at all of the things. Look at the roles, the responsibilities. Where are you on that list? Who are you to you? The first step to your reveal and to living a life of freedom is awareness. We have to be aware, cognizant, and we have to open our eyes to the truth of our lives. The roles that we play aren't always bad, but they can replace our sense of self, and we can start to disappear under them. Now, I want you to close the practice by writing a simple release statement. I release the need to be blank, and fill that in. I release the need to be blank, and I recover who I truly am. And you may want to write that more than one time for every role that doesn't align with yourself. I know that the reflection and reveal practice can be a long thing, especially when we're listening to it in a podcast. So I have created a special workbook for this episode that includes the reflection and reveal practice with some helpful tools to help you along the way. I've added the link in the show notes in the description. Once you're there, it will ask you to create a free account. And when you sign in, you will then have access to all of my free resources and all of the workbooks from this series, including today's. I want you to know you were never meant to live life as someone you're not. You don't need to hustle or perform your way into being yourself. That version of you, the one that's grounded, honest, light, and free, that's not someone you have to become. That's someone you already are. It's just covered up. And I know that it can be scary to remove our filters, even just a little. But every time you do, you let more and more of your true self breathe. And every time you peel back a filter, you get closer to the real you. So stay curious, stay aware, and stay kind to yourself in your recovery. I want to thank you so much for joining me today here on The Free Advantage. For more tools, support, and resources, please visit my website, theriskypath.com. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Your voice matters, and it helps us to grow and get our message out to more people just like you. Let's continue this journey to freedom together. Come back next week, and we will continue on our new series. And remember, freedom is the advantage you already own. Until next time.